Hi everyone, I'm America Josh and welcome to Travel Updates with Travel Elias with Elias Mukta from Liberty Travel. G'day Elias, how are you?
Good day, Josh. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. Every week it's going to be a little bit better. I have absolutely no doubt. I love it. Mate, we're both in New York State and I was just saying to you, I got a notification on my phone a few minutes ago that there was a blockbuster snowstorm headed our way. So I hope you're safe and bunkered down somewhere.
Yeah, so we're in upstate and we get it technically a lot worse than you guys do downstate. But luckily it hasn't come in yet. So over the next couple of days we'll be checking those queues for airline cancellations, unfortunately. So we just want everybody to be aware about that coming up over winter.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I mean, we've been talking a lot about, keeping on top of updates and making sure, people know about like when they've got flights. So do you have a few tips for people just in general, but also related to the fact that, with the weather rolling in and it becoming winter, what they should be keeping an eye on for their flights?
Yes, definitely. So it's especially for you guys heading to Australia. This is peak season generally for Australia travel. So most of them are aware of it. It's usually wintertime here. There's a lot of snow, especially in the Northeast. But you have to be a little bit more vigilant than usual. Usually you would check in that day before your flight, check to see if your times are okay. But at this point, you have to check, I would say, a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance. You want to make sure your flight is still on schedule. And aside from all the cap limits, that once a snowstorm hits, that nothing's been canceled, because there aren't a lot of flights to move you to. Generally, there would be 3 other flights that day that they can move you to, the flight the next day that they can move you to. But now those are all spoken for. So you want to make sure you're on your apps, you're calling your travel agent to make sure, hey, just making the flight still going, or are we still in the same times, just so you're aware and you show up on time. So just stay vigilant. That's my biggest advice.
No, and it's good advice. I always end by saying no, but it's good advice. Yes, that's great advice. Because I know, for me, thinking back, you check your flight a week before and then you might sort of just make sure of the time a couple of days later. But it now really is, check every day, check a couple of times a day, make sure you've got notifications turned on the airlines all have apps which can notify you and notify you when something changes. So make sure you're attuned to all of those updates. And if they've booked through you guys, then that's something that you can jump on and quickly help with. In terms of helping people, you were also mentioning to me earlier that you've had a few people get in touch about moving pets at the moment. So do you have any information about if people want to take their furry friends home or abroad?
Yes, definitely. So we've gotten a lot of questions about pets. Obviously, people moving home now, and you want to take your best friend home with you and not leave them back. But Australia is welcoming pets, and as long as all the rules have been abided by, they're perfectly fine. The problem is a lot of these good airlines that we've been recommending over the last few weeks, Delta, American, United, and even Air New Zealand, are not taking pets right now. So you have to look into a freight forward service that would take your pet. So a lot of people will call and say, hey, well, I got me, the 2 kids, the wife, we all want to go with the pet. And unfortunately, we got to let them know we cannot help with your pet. You have to go through the freight forward service. You would let them know about your particular itinerary you already have booked, so they can kind of match it up and make sure you guys, as close as possible, land together. But that would be the best way to go about that.
Okay, so it's using a third-party service that specializes in moving pets. That's sort of the key take-home, because you used to be able to just sort of say plus pet, but that's not an option anymore, at least for the moment.
Yeah, for the moment. So I'm hoping, as this vaccine rolls out and when we're looking into March, April, May travel, things seem to be opening up a little bit. I don't recommend waiting if you are planning on traveling then, but because it'll get just as bad as it is now. But hopefully we'll have more of these things open up, like we talked about last week with the lounges and things like that. That hopefully we get more and more of these services back.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. One question that I have had, and I'm pretty sure you've probably had as well, is around New Zealand. And I was reading an article this morning that said that New Zealand is so open and the economy is rebounding, and it's 100% or 0% COVID rate, which is absolutely fantastic for them. What are the rules around traveling through New Zealand, going to New Zealand, or if you want to get back from the US to Australia, flying potentially Air New Zealand, can you commute through, or what can you do?
So this is the one thing I've been getting a lot, just because people are seeing on the news, hey, New Zealand is open. So everybody, all my American friends are saying, hey, let's go to New Zealand. It's the one place that's open, that's completely COVID free. Let's go head over there. Unfortunately, they're COVID free because they don't have us there. So they don't want us over there. So right now you can transit through the airport to go to your final destination. If you're an American with a Australian spouse, then you need to go home. You can transit through New Zealand, so it's still a great option. But a lot of people are getting a little scared when they see the NZETA that they have to fill out, and it says New Zealand's borders are closed. That is generally just for leaving the airport and trying to go about a regular vacation. But you can transit through the airport and get to Australia.
Okay, so you do need an ETA to transit through, or?
Yes, I would definitely get the NZETA to transit through, because one, it gives you a lot more information, even if you don't need it at the end. But they have all the information you need. So definitely jump on the website, and if you need to, give them a call, because everybody has a different situation. So some people are married, some people are not married and have kids together and things like that. So you want to just make sure that all the situation. Unfortunately, I don't have all those answers for everybody's situation.
Yeah.
So definitely give them a call.
Okay, fantastic. And it's important also, I know when it comes to US ESTAs, just like New Zealand ETAs, make sure you're on the government website. So look for the .gov or .govt, I think it is in New Zealand, because there are lots of companies that will say, we can help you out with this ETA or this ESTA. You don't need them. It's a setup all through the government. So make sure that you're going direct and applying that way so that you don't cause yourself any issues when you're trying to transit through New Zealand or ultimately one day traveling.
We do flights and we do vacations and we do business stuff. But when it comes down to visas and government stuff, definitely go to the right guys.
Absolutely. And I've seen too many people fill in forms and saying, I paid my $200, now what? And it's like, that shouldn't be the case. So make sure you look for government websites, make sure you look for the official sites. And I always include all of those links below in the description and on our blog. So thank you, Elias, mate. Stay warm, stay safe, and ignore the blizzard for a few more hours while it happens outside. Thank you very much for joining us.
Till next week.
Thanks, mate.
Bye-bye.